Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're really tackling something pretty groundbreaking, I think, in the education space.
Yeah.
It's EON Reality's launch of their Spatial AI Academy 2.0.
Right.
And this isn't just, a small update. It feels like it could be a really fundamental shift in how learning works using AI and immersive tech.
Absolutely. We spent some time digging into their press release and, importantly, their white paper on advanced AI-assisted teaching.
Okay.
And our goal here for you is to get past the buzzwords and really understand what these advancements could mean for learners, for educators. In a reasonable time, of course.
Right. Let's jump in. So the first really big piece they talk about is this advanced AI agent ecosystem. Sounds a bit sci-fi.
It does a bit, but the core idea is creating this intelligent layer of support across the whole educational journey.
Right.
It's about using AI to help teachers, yes, but also creating these really tailored learning paths for students, both sides of the coin.
Got it. So for the teachers, they mentioned a teacher assistant AI. What does that actually do for an educator who's probably already juggling a lot?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. It's not just about, automating grading, though it can help there. It's designed to generate draft lesson plans.
Oh, okay.
Give real-time feedback on how students are doing based on their interactions. And even suggest specific ways to help a student who might be falling behind. It uses the learning analytics, you see.
So it could potentially free teachers up from some of that heavy lifting, the admin stuff, and let them focus more on the actual teaching, the human connection.
That's exactly the promise. Less time bogged down, more time facilitating and mentoring. They also mention an administrative analytics dashboard. How does that fit in?
Right, the bigger picture.
Yeah. So this dashboard takes all that learning data being generated, performance, engagement, you name it,
Okay.
and turns it into insights for school leaders. Think smarter decisions about curriculum changes, where to put resources, maybe spotting trends across the school.
Data-driven decisions, but hopefully made easier to access.
Exactly. Actionable intelligence is the term they use.
And then for the student, the personalized learning system. We hear personalized thrown around a lot. What's different here?
Well, what sounds quite innovative is the idea of these dynamic knowledge maps for every single student.
Knowledge maps.
Yeah. The system tracks what you've mastered, concept by concept, and then adjusts your learning path on the fly. So the curriculum isn't fixed. It adapts to your pace and your understanding. It optimizes how you progress.
That sounds pretty powerful. Dan Lajerskar, EON's chairman, has a quote about this, doesn't he? Something about focusing on the human side.
Yeah, he says, by automating administrative tasks and providing sophisticated learning analytics, we're enabling educators to focus on what they do best, providing human guidance, inspiration, and mentorship.
While our technology handles the rest. That sums it up nicely. It's tech as a support, not a replacement.
Precisely. It's about letting the tech do the heavy data crunching so humans can do the uniquely human things better.
Okay, moving on from the AI side, they're also pushing this next-generation vibe coding environment. Vibe coding. Never heard that before. What is it?
This is where the immersive VRR side really kicks in, I think. Vibe coding basically throws out traditional text-based programming.
Really?
And replaces it with a spatial interface. Imagine, physically connecting visual blocks in 3D space that represent code commands.
Whoa.
The logic becomes more visually apparent. You're not fighting with semicolons and syntax right away.
So you're learning coding concepts by doing it in a virtual space, visually.
Exactly. It taps into spatial reasoning, could make it way more accessible, especially if you're a visual learner. It removes that initial syntax barrier, which, let's face it, trips a lot of people up.
Makes sense. And is it just for basics?
No, they say they have a whole curriculum built around it, from the fundamentals right up to advanced stuff. And crucially, they emphasize how it connects to other subjects, like using it for scientific visualization or maybe digital art, creative expression. It helps connect abstract coding ideas to tangible, real-world applications. You see why you're learning it.
That's often missing, isn't it? The why. Okay, the third pillar they talk about is an enhanced collaborative learning framework. Collaboration in VR.
Yeah, through something called the Spatial Collaboration Studio. The idea is multiple students, maybe in different physical locations, working together in the same virtual environment. on the same project, manipulating the same virtual objects simultaneously.
Like a shared virtual lab or workshop.
Kind of, yeah, taking group projects into these immersive spaces. They also mention having a community infrastructure built around this.
Okay.
So knowledge can be shared across different classes or even schools using these persistent virtual spaces. And specific project frameworks to actually teach teamwork skills, not just the technical stuff.
So building those soft skills alongside the hard skills.
Interesting.
Now, they included a comparison chart, traditional education, versus this Spatial AI Academy 2.0. What jumps out at you from that?
Well, one of the starkest contrasts is definitely the learning environment itself. Moving from, mostly passive absorption of 2D info.
Textbooks, slides.
Right. To actively exploring and interacting within these AI-enhanced 3D spatial worlds. That's a fundamental shift in engagement.
From passive receiver to active explorer.
Exactly. And another big one is assessment, moving away from just testing recall periodically.
Midterms, finals.
Yeah. Towards this continuous real-time analysis of understanding and skill development as you learn. The system sees how you're doing constantly.
That sounds potentially less stressful, maybe, more formative.
Could be. Okay, so implementing all this sounds like a massive project for a school. How do they suggest institutions actually do it?
Good question. Cost and complexity must be concerns.
They seem to have thought about that. They talk about a tiered deployment. So you don't need the fanciest VR headsets for everyone on day one.
Okay. Start smaller, scale up.
That seems to be the idea. Start with minimal requirements and build out. They also provide curriculum packages already aligned to standards.
Adult teachers.
Definitely. And an enhanced implementation support system to kind of hold the institution's hand through the process.
And are there actual examples of this working? Real schools.
They share a few snapshots. Elementary kids using virtual blocks to finally get math concepts.
Making the abstract tangible.
Right. Middle schoolers showing higher engagement, maybe not surprising given their familiarity with digital worlds.
Sure.
And in high school, using simulations for more realistic career prep. They even have a quote from a Dr. Maria Gonzalez Westridge School District.
What'd she say?
She noted, students who previously struggled with abstract mathematical concepts are now demonstrating deep understanding through spatial interaction, which is pretty compelling testimony.
Yeah, that kind of specific feedback is powerful. So let's quickly try to wrap the core ideas. This Spatial AI Academy 2.0, it's really an ecosystem, isn't it?
It is. It combines AI for the personalized learning, the teacher support, the admin analytics,
Right.
with immersive tech, that vibe coding, the collaborative spaces, to change how students actually interact with the material.
We're making it more active, potentially more intuitive, more engaging.
That's the goal. They also shared some impressive metrics they're seeing.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Things like learning efficiency, claiming mastery up to 12 times faster in some cases.
Wow, 12 times.
I know. And improved student engagement, attention, participation, plus better knowledge retention, less forgetting over time.
Those are big claims,
Yeah.
but if even partially true, that's significant impact.
Absolutely. And they briefly touch on the market, suggesting education is increasingly ready for this kind of transformative tech, and that their platform tries to address those typical hurdles like cost and complexity we mentioned.
So, summing up the deep dive, EON Reality's Spatial AI Academy 2.0 looks like a comprehensive attempt to blend AI and immersive tech to personalize education, boost engagement, and maybe better prepare students for the future.
Yeah, it's about using AI to streamline and personalize, and using spatial computing to unlock new ways of understanding and collaborating. A potential step change.
Definitely food for thought. And if you, listening, want to go deeper, that white paper, Advanced AI-Assisted Teaching, is out there on their site.
It leaves you wondering, though, what really does become possible for learning when you dissolve those old walls of the classroom, the limitations of static text, using these kinds of intelligent, immersive tools.
A provocative thought to end on. What new frontiers open up? Fascinating stuff.